Welcome to Global English. This is an English learning channel. This video provides useful vocabulary words and related examples. Breakdown.
破裂
A sudden collapse or failure of something. The breakdown of communication between the two countries led to a diplomatic crisis. After the breakdown of their marriage, they decided to sell the house and go their separate ways. The breakdown of the peace talks has led to renewed fighting. Break-in.
入室窃盗
The illegal entry of a building or other place, especially by force. The break-in was discovered by a neighbor who called the police. The police were called to investigate a break-in at the bank. The break-in was thought to have been carried out by a professional gang. Breakthrough.
重大突破
An important discovery or development that helps solve a problem or end a disagreement. The new drug represents a major breakthrough in the fight against cancer. The breakthrough in communication technology has revolutionized the way we live and work. The discovery of penicillin was a major breakthrough in the history of medicine. Breakup.
关系破裂
The end of a relationship. The breakup of the political alliance led to the downfall of the government. She went through a difficult time after the breakup of her relationship. The breakup of the rock band was a great disappointment to their fans. Breeder.
养殖业者
A person who breeds animals. The dog breeder specializes in breeding hunting dogs. The breeder is hoping to produce a champion racehorse. She is a breeder of rare tropical fish. Brew.
酿制
To make beer or other fermented beverages. The beer is brewed from locally sourced ingredients. She brewed a pot of tea for her guests. He brews his own beer in the basement. Briefing.
简报
A meeting at which information or instructions are given to people. She attended a briefing on the latest scientific research. The crew were given a briefing on emergency procedures. The delegates received a briefing on the agenda for the meeting. Brigade.
部队
A large group of soldiers forms part of an army. The brigade was involved in a number of rescue operations. The brigade was praised for its swift response to the emergency. The fire brigade arrived within minutes of the alarm being raised. Brink.
边缘
The point where a new or different situation is about to begin. He was on the brink of collapse after running the marathon. The country is on the brink of civil war. He stood on the brink of the cliff and looked down. Brisk.
活泼的生气勃勃的
Quick, active, energetic. He walked at a brisk pace to keep warm. There was brisk trading in the stock market today. She gave him a brisk nod of approval. Brittle.
脆的易碎的
Delicate and easily broken. The leaves were dry and brittle in the autumn wind. Her voice was brittle with anger. The old book was brown and brittle with age. Broadcaster.
广播员广播公司
A person or organization that broadcasts television or radio programs. The company is a major broadcaster of news and current affairs. He has worked as a television broadcaster for over 20 years. He works as a weather broadcaster for a local television station. Broaden.
变宽
To become wider or to make something wider. The river broadens as it reaches the sea. Her knowledge of the subject has broadened considerably. His interests have broadened to include music and art. Brochure.
小册子
A type of small magazine that contains pictures and information on a product or a company. They produce a range of brochures on holiday destinations. The hotel provides guests with a brochure about local attractions. The brochure contains information about the company's products and services. Broil.
烤制受到灼热曝晒
To cook something under direct heat. He broiled the steak for 5 minutes on each side. The fish was broiled until the skin was crispy. She broiled the vegetables until they were tender. Broker.
经纪人
A person who buys and sells things for other people. He works as a stockbroker on Wall Street. She hired a broker to help her find a new house. The broker charges a commission for his services. Bronze.
青铜
A dark yellow-brown metal made by mixing copper and tin. The sculpture was made from a single block of bronze. She won a bronze medal in the swimming competition. The museum has a collection of bronze sculptures. Brooch.
胸针
A piece of jewelry with a pin at the back that is fastened to clothes. She wore a diamond brooch on her coat. The brooch was a family heirloom. She fastened her scarf with a silver brooch. Brood.
忧伤担忧
To think a lot about something, especially something that makes you annoyed, anxious, or upset. She spent the evening brooding over her problems. He brooded over the mistake he had made. She sat alone, brooding on her unhappy childhood. Broth.
汤
A thin soup, often with small pieces of meat or vegetables in it. The broth was simmered for hours to develop the flavor. She made a broth with beef and barley. She made a broth with vegetables and noodles. Brotherhood.
兄弟情谊
The friendship and support that people feel for each other in a group. They formed a strong brotherhood in the army. The group was based on a sense of brotherhood. The group was founded on principles of brotherhood and solidarity. Brow.
眉头
The part of the face above the eyes and below the hair. She raised her eyebrows and wrinkled her brow. He wiped the sweat from his brow. She furrowed her brow in concentration. Bruise.
淤伤
A mark on the skin that is caused by being hit with something. She had a large bruise on her arm. He had a bruise on his cheek. She had several bruises on her legs. Brute.
暴徒
A violent person. He was a mindless brute, capable of great violence. The guards treated the prisoners with brute force. The brute attacked the woman without warning. Buck.
雄鹿
A male deer. We saw a group of bucks grazing in the field. The buck had a magnificent set of antlers. The buck stopped to drink from the stream. Buckle.
扣子
A fastening for two loose ends, consisting of a frame with a bar or clasp, used for fastening belts or straps. She fastened the belt with a silver buckle. The buckle on his belt was engraved with his initials. The buckle on his watch was made of stainless steel. Buffer.
缓冲物
Something that helps to lessen or absorb the shock of an impact. The rubber pads act as a buffer between the machine and the floor. The shock absorbers act as a buffer in the suspension system. The sponge padding acts as a buffer against pressure. Build up.
累积
The process of becoming bigger or more important. There was a buildup of traffic on the motorway. There was a buildup of tension before the match. The buildup of pressure caused the pipe to burst. Bulge.
突出
A curved shape that extends from the surface of something. He had a bulge in his pocket where he kept his wallet. She had a bulge in her dress where she had put her phone. She had a bulge in her backpack where she had put her laptop. Bulk.
大量体积
The mass or magnitude of something large. The bulk of the information is contained in the report. The bulk of the population is concentrated in the cities. The bulk of the work was done by volunteers. Bulky.
笨重的庞大的
Taking up much space, large and unwieldy. She packed the bulky items at the bottom of the suitcase. The package was too bulky to fit through the letterbox. The bulky furniture took up too much space in the room. Bully.
欺负霸凌
To use superior strength or influence to intimidate someone, typically to force them to do something. He was bullied at school because he was small. He was bullied into doing things he didn't want to do. He was bullied into giving them his lunch money. Bunker.
掩体、碉堡。
A reinforced underground shelter, typically for use in wartime. The bunker was camouflaged to blend in with the surroundings. The bunker was equipped with communication devices. The bunker was stocked with food and water. Burial.
埋葬、葬礼。
The act of putting a dead body into the ground, or the ceremony, connected with this. They held a burial service for their father. The burial took place in the family plot. The burial procession moved slowly through the streets. Bust.
半身像。
A model of the head and shoulders of a person. The bust of the president was displayed in the town square. They commissioned a bust of the mayor for the town hall. The bust of the famous author was placed in the library. Burp.
打嗝。
To expel gas from the stomach through the mouth, producing a characteristic sound. He tried to hold back a burp during the meeting. She burped loudly, much to everyone's amusement. He burped loudly, startling everyone in the room. Bugle.
喇叭、号角。
A brass instrument like a small trumpet, typically without valves or keys, and used for military signals. The bugle signaled the start of the race. The bugle sounded the call to battle. He learned to play the bugle as a Boy Scout. Bulletin.
新闻公告、公告、通知。
A short official statement or broadcast summary of news. She checked the bulletin for updates on the weather. The bulletin contained details of the upcoming event. The bulletin was broadcast on all major news networks. Bumblebee.
大黄蜂。
A large bee that is covered with short hairs and makes a loud noise when it flies. She was afraid of bumblebees because of their sting. She was stung by a bumblebee. He watched the bumblebee hover near the window. Burgundy.
勃艮第红酒。
Wine from the Burgundy region of France. They enjoyed a bottle of Burgundy with their meal. She bought a case of Burgundy to serve at the wedding. The restaurant offered a selection of Burgundy wines. Burlap.
粗麻布、麻袋。
A rough, woven fabric made from jute, hemp, or a similar fiber, used especially for sacking. They covered the plants with burlap to protect them from frost. They covered the floor with burlap to protect it during painting. She used burlap to make a sack for her garden tools. Burlesque.
滑稽剧。
A theatrical entertainment consisting of parodying or mocking serious works. The burlesque troupe toured around the country, entertaining audiences everywhere. The burlesque routine included singing, dancing, and comedy sketches. Some burlesque shows incorporate elements of vaudeville and circus acts. Busker.
街头艺人、卖艺者。
A person who performs music or other entertainment in the street or another public place for monetary donations. He started out as a busker before becoming a professional musician. The busker sang popular songs to attract a crowd. The busker performed on the street corner every evening. Buttress.
支持、加强、扶壁、撑墙。
A structure built against a wall for support or reinforcement. The old cathedral has strong buttresses. They added buttresses to the bridge for extra support. The tree roots act as natural buttresses. Bypass.
绕过、旁通。
To avoid something by going around it. The proposal bypassed the committee and went straight to the board. They bypassed the security checkpoint by using a side entrance. The new highway bypasses the old town, making travel faster. Byzantine.
拜占庭的、错综复杂的。
Relating to the Byzantine Empire, or excessively complex and intricate. The church features Byzantine architecture. Byzantine art is known for its rich details. The regulations are incredibly Byzantine. Thank you for your watching. Your subscription serves as our driving force to create more videos. See you next time.